Hello, and welcome back to the Daily Speaking English podcast. I'm Lena, and I'm so happy to have you here with me today. I hope you're doing well and feeling good. Today's topic is really exciting because we're going to talk about something that many English learners struggle with. If you enjoy this episode, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit that like button and share this with your friends who are learning English too. And make sure to click the bell icon so you never miss a new episode. All right, I'm ready to dive in, so let's get started. Have you ever asked yourself why thinking in English feels so difficult? Maybe you know a lot of words. Maybe you understand grammar rules pretty well. You can probably read English texts and write sentences without too many problems. You might even understand what people say when they speak to you. But here's the tricky part. When you want to create your own thoughts in English, when you want to speak from your mind, it suddenly feels like there's a huge wall blocking you. Does this sound familiar? If yes, you're not alone. This happens to so many English learners around the world. So what's the problem? Why does this happen? Well, the answer is actually quite simple. Most people don't practice the skill of thinking in English. Yes, thinking is a skill, just like reading or writing. Students spend time reading books, writing essays, listening to conversations, and practicing speaking with others. But their brain is still doing something behind the scenes. It's translating. Every single word goes from their native language into English first. This translation process takes time and energy. It makes everything slower and harder. The real secret to becoming fluent is not just learning more English words or studying more grammar. The secret is teaching your brain to think directly in English. No translation needed, just pure English thinking. But how do you do this? Where do you start? Let me share some practical steps with you today. First, let's talk about your inner voice. You know that voice inside your head? The one that talks to you all day long? That voice can be your best teacher. You can train that voice to speak in English. Start with the small moments in your daily life. For example, when you wake up in the morning, what do you say to yourself? Instead of thinking in your native language, try thinking in English. Say to yourself, I need to brush my teeth. Or, I'm hungry, I want breakfast. These are simple sentences, but they're powerful. When you walk to school or go to work, look around you. Describe what you see, but do it in English inside your mind. Tell yourself, the sky is blue today, or that dog is running in the park. Maybe you see a bus and you think, the bus is coming now. At the beginning, these thoughts might feel slow. They might feel strange or unnatural. That's completely normal. But here's the important part. The more you practice this kind of inner talk, the more natural it becomes. Your brain starts to get used to it. And over time, English thinking becomes automatic. You won't need to translate anymore. Another great way to develop English thinking is by surrounding yourself with the language as much as possible. Think of your brain like a sponge. When you put a sponge in water, it absorbs everything, right? Your brain works the same way with language. The more English you hear and see, the easier it becomes to think in it. So don't just study English for 1 hour and then stop. Make English part of your everyday life. Watch English TV shows. Listen to English podcasts like this one. Watch videos on YouTube. Read simple books or articles. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But Lena, I don't understand everything when I watch or listen. That's okay. You don't need to understand every single word at first. The important thing is that your ears and your brain are getting familiar with English. They're learning the rhythm of the language. They're learning the tone, the speed, and the natural flow. After some time, those sounds become normal to you. And then something amazing happens. Your brain starts to produce those sounds on its own. You start thinking in that same rhythm and flow. Here's something really interesting that I want you to know. Thinking in English is not only about language, it's also about culture and the way people express ideas. Every language has its own way of organizing thoughts. In English, people usually prefer short and direct sentences. They get to the point quickly. If you always try to think in long and complicated sentences like you might do in your native language, you'll find it very hard to express yourself. So here's my advice. Start practicing shorter and simpler sentences in English. Imagine you're sending a text message to a friend. English thinking is often like that. It's simple and straight to the point. For example, in your native language, you might think something like, I feel very exhausted because I had a long day full of responsibilities and difficult tasks. But in English, you can simply think, I'm so tired. Today was a long day. See how much easier that is? It's clear, natural, and fast. This is how English speakers think. Now, let me tell you about something very important. You need to lower your fear of making mistakes. Many learners stop themselves from thinking in English because they worry too much about grammar. They ask themselves, is this sentence correct? Did I use the right verb tense? But here's the beautiful thing about thinking. Thinking is private. Nobody else can hear your thoughts. This is your safe space. Even if your sentence in your head is not perfect, it doesn't matter at all. What really matters is that you're training your brain to move in English without stopping. When you keep practicing, something wonderful happens. Your mistakes will naturally reduce over time. Why? Because your brain gets better at choosing the right words and grammar patterns. It learns from experience. So please, don't be afraid to make mistakes in your thoughts. Nobody will judge you. Just keep going. To make this habit even stronger, try speaking to yourself in English when you're alone. I know some people feel shy or embarrassed about this, but trust me, it's one of the best ways to train your brain. For example, when you're cooking dinner, describe what you're doing out loud. Say, I'm cutting the vegetables now. I'm adding some salt. The food smells really good. When you're driving or walking, you can say, I see children playing in the park. The weather feels cold today. These sentences might seem very simple, but they're actually extremely powerful. They help connect your daily life with English thinking. Let me share another useful technique with you. It's called visualization. When you learn a new English word, don't just connect it to a translation in your native language. Instead, connect it directly to a picture or image in your mind. For example, when you learn the word apple, don't think of the word for apple in your language. Instead, imagine a bright red apple in your hand. When you learn the word happiness, imagine a person with a big, beautiful smile. This way, your brain saves time. It doesn't translate. It connects English words directly to meaning and feeling. This makes thinking in English much faster and more natural. Immersion is also really important. If you can, try to create situations where English is your only option. How can you do this? Change the language on your phone to English. Write your shopping list in English. When you make plans for the day, write them in English. Send short messages to yourself in English. Even if it feels strange at first, you're actually doing something great. You're pushing your brain to get comfortable with English in everyday situations. Remember, Thinking in English doesn't happen in just one day. It's not magic. It's a skill, and like any other skill, it grows with practice. You need to be patient with yourself. Some days will feel easier than others. Some days you might feel like you're not improving. But don't give up. Every small step counts. Every English thought you create is progress. Before we finish today, let me quickly review what we talked about. First, we learned that thinking in English is a skill you need to practice. Second, you can train your inner voice to speak English by describing your daily activities. Third, surrounding yourself with English sounds helps your brain get comfortable with the language. Fourth, keep your sentences short and simple, just like native speakers do. Fifth, don't be afraid to make mistakes in your thoughts because nobody can hear them.
Sixth, speak to yourself in English when you're alone. Seventh, use visualization to connect words directly to images instead of translations. And finally, create immersion by using English in your daily life as much as possible. Now let's think about why you should put effort into all of this. What's the reward? Well, once you reach the stage where you think in English naturally, everything becomes so much easier. You'll speak faster and more smoothly. You'll understand conversations more clearly. You'll feel much more confident when you use English. You won't waste time translating in your head anymore. Instead, you'll live inside the language. That's when English stops being just a subject you study at school. It becomes a tool you use naturally in your life. So here's my challenge for you. The next time you catch yourself translating in your head, stop for a moment. Take a breath. Then, try to form that thought directly in English. Start with small and easy thoughts. Be patient with yourself. Keep practicing every single day. Your brain is amazing. It will adjust and adapt. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll discover that your natural way of thinking has become English. When that happens, you'll feel a new kind of freedom in your learning journey. It's an incredible feeling, and I want that for you. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I really hope you found it helpful and useful. Here's what I want you to do after this episode ends. Listen to it again tomorrow. Yes, I mean it. Listen to it multiple times this week. Repetition is the key to learning. Every time you listen, your brain picks up something new. Also, try to practice these techniques in your own life. Start describing your day in English. Talk to yourself in English. Make it personal and real. That's how real learning happens. I would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and tell me about your experience with thinking in English. What challenges do you face? What techniques work best for you? Your comments help me create better content for you. Until next time, keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and remember that every small step brings you closer to fluency. Take care and see you in the next episode. Goodbye.